few years ago, I started running. I kind of did it as a reaction to the weight I was gaining directly after finishing high school, which, man, that freshman 15 is really strong if you don't know what you're doing. Over the last couple of years, I've managed to complete quite a few races. I've even done a full marathon. And I bring this up not as something to gloat about, but instead something that I want to talk about because for years, people have asked me, well, why are you running marathons? Why are you pushing yourself to do something? I mean, it sounds miserable, running for 26 miles. What's the point in that? And for a really long time, I honestly didn't have an answer for them. They would ask me, why? What's the point in this? And I would sit there and so, I don't know. It's just something I wanted to do. Over the last couple of weeks, though, as I've started to gear up for training for an Ironman, it's dawned on me that I might need a better reason, not just for other people, but for myself. I love running, and I have loved running for a very long time, and biking and swimming is definitely a new challenge for me, but it's something that I'm embracing, and yet I could not figure out a reason why. Then, over the last couple weeks, it's dawned on me that my reason why is the same reason why I think most of us do anything that's actually worth doing. I love running because it's hard. I love pushing myself because it's difficult, and so much in our life these days is easy. Or maybe not easy is the right word, but comes easy to us. For example, you can spend a couple $100s on a phone, and that can be all of your entertainment. You can waste every part of your day just sitting there, staring at a screen, and getting all of your enjoyment out of life from that. But to me, that feels hollow, and that feels easy, and it feels cheap. What feels good is when I go out and I sweat. I push myself to a point where I'm beyond uncomfortable, and I don't want to keep going, and yet I keep going. Just for the sake of going. There's no universal law that says I have to be doing what I'm doing in that moment. But I love the fact that I get to see the reward afterwards. That I get to say, look at the hard thing I just did. There's also a little bit of a pride element of it. I enjoy the fact that I can do something really hard that not everyone can do. And now I do have the genuine belief that people's limitations truly only come from what they are able to imagine for themselves. And if you want to do something that's difficult, you can almost always do it by just setting your mind to it. But most people don't. And I think all of us have something like that. Something that we're good at or really care about, or that's hard for us that we want to accomplish that to a lot of people doesn't make a lot of sense. For some people, that can be writing. I know people who the thought of writing sends chills down their spine. They are terrified of it. There is no part of them that wants to do anything involving writing. I also know people who writing is a passion for them. It's the thing that gets them out of bed in the morning. It's what they do whenever they don't have anything else that they need to be doing. These are two very different groups of people, and yet they're approaching the same task with incredibly different mindsets. I mention this because what's the thing for you that you look at and say, oh, this is difficult, this is hard, I don't know if I can do this. And why aren't you doing it? You only get one shot at this life. There's only one opportunity to do as many things as you possibly can. Why not go out and find something that's hard, that's rewarding, and do it? And of course, this is a very luxury position to be sitting in. A lot of people especially these days, and like after COVID, don't have the luxury to say, well, I have this extra bandwidth, so I'm going to spend it on doing something difficult. And I get that. And to people in that situation, I am not at all calling you out. I have been in that situation, and it is tough. When you're sitting there and you don't have enough energy to even get out of bed. This is more, if you already have the bandwidth, if things are going okay, well, why not push yourself to make it a bit better? I have loved running over the last couple of years, and it has not always been easy. I have had injuries. I have had moments where I did not think I was going to be able to keep going. Specifically during the marathon. I had been training for it for a couple of months, and I probably wasn't as well trained up as I could be, but I was doing my best, and I was excited about it. Day of the marathon, I get up on the starting line, and I get going, and immediately my knees start burning, especially the right one. And, you know, it's not unusual for your knees to hurt a little bit when you're running, but this was like otherworldly pain. I'd never felt this level of pain before. But this was my race. This was my hometown marathon. They were not going to be holding this for another year. I was not going to quit. So I kept going. I ran with my wife for the first 6 miles before she split off for the half. And then I kept going. And the whole time I can feel my knee is just burning so bad. I look down, it's swollen. The left knee starts acting up as well. It gets to the point where I'm basically limping my way to the finish line. But I got through it. I cannot tell you the level of pride that went through me when I crossed that finish line. I was sobbing. Could not control myself. But while it hurt and while it was incredibly difficult, it was so worth it to sit there, to look out and say, look at what I just did. It was years in the making for me. I had spent so many hours running, training, eating, everything I needed to do in order to get to that point. And I had finished it. And was it easy? Not at all. Was it fun? Not really. But it didn't need to be fun. Instead, it was just rewarding. I felt more proud of myself than I had felt in years. And I'm curious what that thing is for you. What point, when you feel like you can't keep going, when it's too hard, when it's too difficult, what's the thing that if you just push past that is worth it for you? I feel like this is a lesson that we can apply to so many different things in life as well. Not just, you know, running, not just any, like school, just having a moment where you push yourself and you see what you're capable of. Because there's that old saying, nothing in life is going to be worth doing if it's easy. Or something like that. And I feel like this is a really good example of just pushing yourself past the point that you think you can do, just to see if you can do it. Anyway, a little bit of a shorter video today. I'm not feeling super great. I am planning on getting back to a more regular posting schedule. So I hope you enjoy it. This might not be my best video of all time, but thanks for watching. See ya.